Radio Raheem here with Bob Arum, putting on yet another Pacquiao fight, one only 5 months after Pacquiao retires. Did you have a conversation with him immediately after he retired, or just talk to me about how it was decided that he would come back and so soon?
Manny announced that he was retiring after the last fight. I said to everybody, I'm not selling it as his last fight, because the question in Manny's mind, not that he didn't want to fight anymore, but that he wasn't going to be able, if he got elected to the Senate and had his senatorial duties, wouldn't permit him to have the time to prepare for a fight. So what I did was, after he was elected and the Senate was in session, I flew to the Philippines. I met with the president of the Senate. We worked out a schedule where he could train run in the morning, go to the Senate in the afternoon, train at night, 3 days a week. See, the Senate only sits 3 days a week, and the other 2 days train normal in the Philippines. How to stay in the Philippines. That's why Freddie is over there. And then we would figure when the Senate would go into recess so he could come to the United States and do that fight. So the president of the Senate, we sat with a calendar and we picked November 5 because the budget debate will be over by then, and the president of the Senate assured me that November 5 would give him 2 full weeks in the United States. And then the Senate goes back into session. So there was no way that he could make a Monday meeting of the Senate after the fight, because you lose the day flying back. So the president agreed that week they would sit between Tuesday and Thursday rather than Monday and Wednesday. So I got that all done, and I came back, and that's why, he wanted a fight. That's why I made the fight.
I've watched Pacquiao in training camps for years and years in Los Angeles. Haven't been fortunate enough to make it to the Philippines to see him train, but what we all know is how dedicated a fighter is. He's dedicated to everything that he does. So that's such a packed schedule that you just described. And putting an opponent in front of him seemed to be something of an arduous task as well. How much did the schedule that you knew he was going to have to commit to play into the opponent that you selected?
Well, we got the best guy available, a guy who was a champion. We wanted to make it a championship fight. A guy who had knocked out his prior opponent. A guy who might have knocked out Tim Bradley if there was more, the referee hadn't have ended that fight by mistake. So we felt that Vargas was a terrific opponent.
Your Vargas opponent was announced. You're no stranger to criticism, but usually people will show up for a Pacquiao fight because it's Pacquiao regardless. And then really shocking, more than him coming out of retirement, more than Vargas being the opponent, was HBO dropping out of the Pacquiao business. When that news came to you, was it shocking, and did you take it personally?
No, because they said that they had already committed for the November 19th pay-per-view with Ward and Kovalov, and that they didn't want to do a fight 2 weeks before. So that was their position. And when it happened, we were stunned. But then we said, hey, wait a second. This is a tremendous opportunity for us to do what we know we can do. And it's worked out great. Gave us the opportunity to get our own announcing team, get us the opportunity to make our own shoulder programming. The point is that a lot of what HBO was doing was very, very good. But like most people, when they do things that are good, it becomes the same old, same old, same old. Because this is new, it's allowing us to really experiment. And I think with great, great success. I mean, this announcing team, people are going to want to watch this telecast because they want to see how, like a Stephen A. Smith, handles the analyst chair. And I'm very, very excited. And we've made deals with the satellite providers, with the cable companies. So we have the same lineup. We might increase it with other outlets, and we're off to the races. So as far as the public is concerned, yeah, they'll see a different face, but they're not going to know the difference, really.
You put together a packed, stacked card, no doubt about that. If the top of the ticket, if you will, performs as expected and Pacquiao is victorious, the next fight, we expect maybe the opponent to be even more of a challenge for him. Is it automatically going to HBO, or is now the Pacquiao fights kind of up for grabs? Would you consider Showtime?
No, I don't think that would be fair to HBO, given our relationship with HBO. But the question then is, why wouldn't we keep doing it ourselves and save the distribution fee? Doing it with HBO comes with financial considerations. So if we feel we can do it and we have a good time doing it, and it's really something that stimulates our people, and we're saving money doing it ourselves, why wouldn't we? So that's going to be the determination. Not whether we're going to jump to Showtime, it's whether we're going to continue doing it ourselves. And if we do, it won't be any animosity towards HBO. It's just that, hey, we've grown up, we're big boys, and we can do it ourselves.
Speaking of animosity and things being done for the first time, well, the idea that Nonito, Donaire, and Manny Pacquiao would be on the same card seemed like something that would have happened years ago as a no-brainer, obvious for all the obvious reasons. Why now, 2016, this far down the line, has it finally happened? What's been the hindrance in the past?
Well, as Manny has risen up the political scale, where he's now a senator, he's achieved a great deal of wisdom, and I was able to convince him that it was a good idea.
What was his objection before that you needed to convince him?
I don't know. People around him said you don't need another Filipino on the card, that kind of stuff. Anyway, it all worked out for this card, and I'm grateful.
You're a genius at cultivating rising talent. Bud Crawford is obviously one of the guys on the cusp. People are wondering what his next fight will be, even expecting that maybe we're headed towards Pacquiao, Crawford in the near future. What do you see next for Crawford, and is that Pacquiao fight maybe something we're going to see next year for the big dance?
Well, we're going to have a big Crawford fight, maybe in December, but more likely in January, and it's going to be a big fight. And let's see how he does in that fight. And then let's see if we do a Vargas-Crawford fight, if Vargas upsets Manny.
When you say it's a big fight, then you already have some idea in mind, like who could create a big fight with Crawford and give us a taste?
No, not until I can make it.
And Lomachenko, kind of the same thing. What's next for him? When will we see him?
Big fight. He's fighting November 26th. We'll have an announcement hopefully tomorrow.
And lastly, Bob, obviously Manny retires for real when he decides he's actually done. What is it that is your goal for him before he hangs up those gloves? You're making another big push. This is a new chapter. What's left for Manny to do to prove? What is this last chapter about?
I think he continues boxing because he loves it. I think he's more interested in his political career than anything else. So my goal is to help him become president of the Philippines.
Radio Raheem with the chairman, Bob Arum. Always love to talk to you, man. Thank you for your answers. We'll see you November 5th in Las Vegas.
Come November